My name is Maria, and I went to a nutritionist, and she introduced me to the laser just before New Year's at the end of December, and I've had about 7 sessions with the laser. And I've had multiple health issues. Chronic back problems for the last 30 years. I have herniated discs, cervical and lower back, and I was actually hospitalized 2.5 years ago because of that. I couldn't walk, and doctors wanted to operate on my back. I refused the surgery, and of course they were very upset. They noted on my chart that I left the hospital against medical advice, and they told me that I was taking a big risk because I could become crippled, and that nerves could not regenerate, that any nerve damage that I had would be irreversible. And that happened in October of '08, and then I was having issues with diverticulitis due to the anti-inflammatories that I had taken for the last 30 years. And of course, doctors don't tell you about the side effects of those. I was on Vioxx, on Celebrex, and another drug back in the '80s that was taken off the market because it caused deaths. And so I was on major doses of antibiotics for the last 1.5 years. I was taking 2 different antibiotics, 2,000 milligrams a day, and I was getting worse instead of getting better. So finally I had to be hospitalized, and then they were giving me intravenous antibiotics. The gastroenterologist that was treating me finally discovered that I had a perforation in my colon, and I was going to have surgery for that, and they discovered I had a huge abscess also. The surgeon told me I was very fortunate to have survived all this time with the problems that I had. And the gastroenterologist was very honest and said all the drugs I had been on over the years caused my problems. Also, I had been injected with steroids and cortisone. I had been through pain management where they injected steroids into my spine, and nothing gave me relief. I tried decompression therapy, chiropractic care. Chiropractic care was helpful, but it had to be an ongoing thing. It wasn't a cure. I tried acupuncture. I've tried, my goodness, I can't even remember all the things. And of course, different drugs, which finally I got to the point where I became extremely allergic to all the drugs I was taking. That caused other health issues. Finally, the infectious disease doctor and allergist that I saw, because they kept saying I had this disease, that disease. Finally, they told me it was a drug allergy. So that's what made me go to a nutritionist to seek alternative methods. And then when I tried the laser for the very first time, I was in so much pain I could barely walk. And it was actually difficult for me to be face down on the table, but after a while it started to ease up, and I have problems sleeping, and I actually fell asleep during the treatment. And if I hadn't been dreaming, I would have denied that I fell asleep because I have a hard time falling asleep. But I felt a lot better, and then a couple of days later I went back for another treatment. And I also have asthma. Since I've been on the treatment, I haven't used the medication for my asthma. I haven't used the inhalers. I used to have to take 3 inhalers, use a nebulizer with steroids. I haven't used that. I was just recovering from a bout of pneumonia when I had my first treatment, and it was a very big leap of faith for me to go off my drugs and just rely on the treatment. And like I said, I've had about 7 sessions, and I can walk up and down the stairs. I didn't have any problem walking up and down the stairs. And I was able to sit through the whole conference yesterday without having to be getting up, because normally I can sit or stand for 20 minutes at a time at the most, and I have to constantly be shifting positions. So I'm definitely going to be purchasing a laser.